So much for doing this. So Helga has been on the road for many
So how
years.
long have you been practicing zero waste for?
Oh, so I started teaching in 2000. Was it 2006? And then I started teaching environmental science, and I heard the term zero waste, and it really intrigued me. And so, you know, probably a couple years after that, I tried to see how I could move toward that. And it's difficult because everything you do does produce waste. And so I kind of look at it as that, like moving toward that direction, figuring out how you can use less resources, what kinds of
And
things
how do
you
you
can
enact it in your own daily life?
Oh, you mean like what I'm talking about here?
Yep.
Okay.
Or in general?
Okay, so everything that I do, like I talked about, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And the other ways that I include it is I'm involved with a used clothing exchange and used toy exchange where we collect gently used clothing and toys from the community, and then people can shop for them for free. The other thing I'm involved with is I help people that I know try to give away items that they have, and so they don't end up in a landfill, so they can be reused. I'm also part of a group. It's called Buy Nothing, and it's a Facebook group that goes by town. And I certainly didn't start this group, but it's a wonderful group where people go to the site and they give away things for free, or they ask for things rather than having to purchase items. The other thing we were fortunate enough to do in my family, we were able to get solar panels to use energy from the sun. Yeah, so those are some of the things that I do. Hi, my name is Nancy, and this is Helga. And her motto is, don't be chicken, to practice zero waste. And zero waste simply means using resources wisely. So these are a few things that Helga does. When she goes shopping, she brings her own bag. And she might bring another bag or bring one for a friend. And this one's shaped like a strawberry. And come apart like so and be put back together. If she goes to some kind of event, she'll bring her own cup to use. And this cup can also be used for beverages or soup or whatever. A lot of times people don't have enough of cups to go around, so they use disposable ones. If she goes to get a couple bagels or pastries, she'll simply bring a cloth, put them down on the cloth, and then tie this up, and then can bring this to where she's going. She also uses reusable silverware for an event. If she gets takeout, she says, no disposable silverware, please, and she has her own. If she goes out to eat, she brings her own container for leftovers. But you needn't bring a fancy container. You can just bring something you had in your house, something like this, a plastic container for leftovers. When she buys produce at the grocery store, rather than using the throwaway plastic bags, she brings her own container for produce. And this is an example of a reusable one. This one came from oranges and she kept it, and now when she goes to buy fruits or vegetables, she'll put it right in here. Let's see what else she has in here. Oh, well, this is a sock, and the sock happened to get eaten by a dog. And so this right here, she'll either use it for a rag, but if she doesn't need to use it for a rag because she has too many, these can actually be brought to Savers or Salvation Army or Goodwill, and these will get recycled into other materials. In here, she also has her own dish. So rather than using paper plates or paperware, she'll bring her own dish to an event. Let's see what else she has in here. Oh, here is a rag. When she spills something, she'll use a rag rather than a paper towel. If there's corks from a party, these can be recycled. So these are collected. Sometimes people use these to make crafts. So instead of these being thrown out, they're saved. She uses cloth napkins and has an extra one for a friend. If she has seafood and she has a beautiful shell, she washes the shell. It either will be used for something or else it'll be brought back to the ocean because it contains valuable minerals like calcium and phosphorus and magnesium. No throwaway straws for her. She uses a reusable straw and has a little brush to clean it. Oh, look it. There's an extra fork here for a friend. If she has bags like this, plastic bags that are from bread, what she'll do is she will shake those out, and if she doesn't reuse these, they can be recycled at grocery stores. They must be clean and dry, so she just shakes out the crumbs and lets them air dry. She has a little cloth here that she dries her hand rather than using paper towels. Oh, look it, another fork for a friend. Oh, she also has a baby. Her baby's name is Olga, and Olga is learning the ropes from her mom. So look at what she has here. She has her own little silverware set. Oh, let's see what else is in here. Oh, if she gets ribbon from something, she saves ribbon and uses it again. Let's see. Oh, look at what she has. She uses cloth diapers rather than disposable diapers. And let's see what else she has in here. Oh, bottle caps. She saves the bottle caps. People use these for crafts. If they don't use these for crafts, they can be put in a metal dumpster. And just another cap in here that's in here. Just another cap. Okay. And here is a beautiful little picture. This was made by a former student of mine. And on it, and they made the picture of Helga. And it says, WWHT, what would Helga think?
Did you buy the solar panels yourself, or did you?
Bought them outright. We've had them for about 11 years, 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
And so we have a Chevy Volt electric car, and we charge with that. We rarely buy gas because it has a gas generator.
Mm-hmm.
And we also we collect our water and have an irrigation system for our garden. Those barrels over there collect water from the roof, and I set those up with a timer, and they will passively irrigate my garden. So we don't waste water either. We compost. We also compost our food waste.
So how do you?
Well,
What do you-
I have to take that big gutter off that you see now. There's an attachment I put there that goes to the top of the barrels. And then there's a hose on the bottom. You can see a gray pipe coming out of the ground by that little table, round table.
Mm-hmm.
And I attach that to the barrels. So I have 2 barrels there, so it's basically 110 gallons of water that's readily available. And I just put a timer on it, and I run it through these pipes here. I just set it up like a hydroponics,
Mm-hmm.
and I can water everything when we have long periods between rain. So it helps keep the future of the electric grid is going to change quite a bit. They're talking about doing like mini grids in neighborhoods where they can set things up so that people do power sharing. There's a whole lot more technology that's coming into play in the future. There's some places out west that are already doing that.
What do you mean?
Well, for example, there's places out west where they'll have, let's say this block here has 6 houses.
Yeah.
They'll take one of those lots and they'll put up a bunch of solar panels on there with batteries, and that powers this block. And so they'll break it all down so that if there's a power outage, it doesn't wipe out everybody. Because everybody has an independent source of power, and it's actually a better source of power than what they're getting, more dependable than the grid. So, and another little side note I was trying to say before is that with the electric car, for example, I can get 38 to 40 miles of drivability out of $2.45 of electricity. Now, if you compare that to gasoline, you can't get that easily. And for me, it's free. So the only time I have to buy gasoline for my electric car generator is when the temperature is below 35 degrees, which is typically winter, the cold months. And it only runs the engine for about a minute or two until, because it has to do a self-check and maybe warm the battery. And then off I go on the electric.
All right. When they're, what are they, 20 years lifespan?
They go over, they list them for about 25 years. But they actually go quite a bit longer. And they're actually, I mean, I think it's a big asset if you have a house that's situated well with it, because you're not going to have an electric bill. I don't know actually, and I haven't really heard how long they can actually go, but they go well beyond 25 years.
And when they're done, what are you going to do with them?
They're going to be recycled. They'll recycle there's the different metals in there. They got the silicone too. Not silicone, silica. All the components that are, like the lithium, can be recovered. And what they're talking about now is taking used solar panels or any kind of lithium batteries and use those as a secondary storage for electricity, because they still have a lot of life left. Like my car is 8 years old, and when I trade it in, they can use it for that kind of purpose. I still get most of the power that I got when I bought the car. I get like 2 miles less per charge over the past 8 years. And this thing's still going strong. So it's going to go for a good long time.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Chevy Volt.
Chevy Volt?
Well, of course, they stopped making those now because they want just pure electric.
Oh.
But, the hybrids are going to hang for a little while, where you have like a small battery component helping the engine, like the Priuses do. But, the electric car really it's pretty efficient. I mean, every time I get up in the morning, go out to my garage to get my car, I get a full tank basically, because it's fully charged.
Very cool.
Yeah, and the other thing with solar, a lot of people don't understand the real depths of the solar.
What do you mean?
Well, here's the deal with that. Is like when we got this, we bought it outright, and at the time it was very expensive, but now the price for installing a system like this is half the price. I hooked up with solar brokers down in Washington, D.C. Now, I went under Massachusetts has a solar program, Solar 2, and so they gave me a rebate right off the top. It took like $5,000 off the install, and then I hooked up with these power brokers that sell our green energy name, so to speak, to the power companies, because they have to have a green profile. So we're kind of part of their green profile, because we are giving back during prime time. And on top of that, the first few years, we were getting back $5,000 a year. And as more people got solar, we got less. But even now today, 11 years later, we're still getting $3,000 a year for nothing, just to be part of the power company's green profile.
What do you mean $3,000 a year?
Exactly. They pay us for every megawatt we make over.
Oh.
Every megawatt we make, period, we get it's sold on the market by the solar brokers to the utilities and anywhere in the country. And so we're still getting $3,000. So that helps pay down the cost of installing solar if you buy it outright. Now,
so how does this compost thing work?
well, what's nice is that it's literally right on the ground, so you don't have to buy worms or anything. They come right up from the ground and they start a population, because this is what
It's an open tube?
the bottom's open.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so the worms come from the ground. No matter where you put it, you'll always get worms. And so anyways, they like to feed on this stuff, and so they just keep reproducing.
So you
And,
take the leaves from your yard and
And
grass
these are
clippings
vegetable scraps,
all the food
eggshells, fruit scraps, orange
just
peels.
no meat. That's all. No meat.
Yeah. So here's some nice worms.
Yeah,
If I go here, here's some more hiding.
This is just like corn
my
husk,
friends. Yep.
lemon peels, anything that's vegetation.
so no meat.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
no-
you know what happens with meat is you start attracting the wrong kind of animals.
Yeah, meat will break down, but yeah, you will attract.
That's when you start getting other problems.
Right.
And but this is very nice. This will end up. We're gonna keep turning this frequently, and before you know it, we'll have ourselves some
Different.
awesome stuff.
It gets hot and it'll be.
See this one. Let me just get the water off it. Okay, so I tumble it to mix it, and then I'll show you like the inside. Like this has a catch.
This one requires more brown, so more leaves to do it.
So
because it
that's
doesn't
what
have the
this is all fresher stuff. We have, you know, brown to green, and you know we normally save bags of leaves from the fall to add to it. Or you can even throw sawdust or something in there too. But you have to have a ratio so that they work together to make heat.